Welcome to Netlab 01, Navigating the vSphere Web Client. All right, in this lab, we will be just exploring how to navigate through vSphere Web Client. We'll be navigating actually in two different interfaces. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. First thing I want to note is that I've got two separate windows open. One has my Netlab environment over here, and then I had downloaded the Netlab document and opened that up in a separate viewer. This allows me to place the two side by side, so that way I don't have to click back and forth between the two different views. Because you will notice across the top here that, again, I'm logged into Netlab. I'm on pod 1. This is my reservation number, and that's the lab that I'm currently working on. You can see that there's my remaining time right there. I have 44 minutes. And then looking at my topology, you'll notice that I have 5 virtual machines in this topology in this lab pod. And these represent the hosts and vCenter server and storage that are within my vSphere environment. And then there's an SA student virtual machine in this pod that I will be using to log into vCenter. All right, let's go ahead and take a look over here at my instructions. And let me go to the next page. You'll see there's my contents page. And besides the introduction objectives, there's another page that has the topology, the settings, and then the two sections of this lab. One is to log in and navigate the vCenter server using the vSphere client. The vSphere client is a web browser page that I will access through SA Student that will allow me to log into SA VCSA. The second one is the ESXi host. I'll be using the VMware host client, which is another web browser-based application. And I'll be using that from SA Student again, and I'll be logging onto one of these two hosts. And so we'll see two different ways to log in to our resources. You can see the objectives here. The main objective is to become familiar with the vSphere client. Reminder of topology, take note of the various IP addresses, the networks that each of the virtual machines are connected on. We'll learn more about the purposes of the different networks. Here's our lab settings. Big thing to take note on here is that it has the account names and passwords that you will use for logging onto the different resources. The primary accounts that you'll be using is the sysadmin account and the sysadmin at vclass.local account. These are two different accounts. The first one here is used to log into the SA student. That is a local account, meaning that this virtual machine, I'll be logging in using the sysadmin account and using this password. And then once I do that, I will be logging into the sysadmin at vclass.local account. And it happens to have the same password. Next, I will be given instructions on how to log in and navigate the vCenter server using the vSphere client. Once again, I will be logging in through SA Student. And when I do so, using those credentials, sysadmin, VMware 123, the username and passwords are the same that you'll see on this page here. So it's handy. They place them right where you need them, but they won't vary. Once I've logged in, you'll see that I'll be using a web browser, in this case, Firefox web browser. And it happens to open to the Welcome to VMware vSphere welcome page, which I will use to and find the handy launch vSphere client link. And then I will use the second set of credentials, the sysadmin at vclass.local, which is not the same as sysadmin. This is using an administrative database that is part of the SA VCSA. Happens to have the same password. And I'll log in from there, and then you'll notice that I will be modifying my browser settings. So this is important to get the best use out of the Netlab pods. I'll modify the browser settings on SA Student, not my own computer. And we'll see that a little bit later. And then navigating through here, you'll see that we'll be given some directions Oftentimes they'll show you what they want you to click on. You'll do some exploration on the various aspects of this. Take note that there'll be these notes here that bump out to give you a little bit extra information. And again, the purpose of this is to navigate around the space. Ultimately, we'll be making a modification to this. Now, one of the things we'll want to take note of is in some cases in these labs, we'll be asked to take screenshots to provide to the instructor, me, so that I know that you've completed the task appropriately. So pay attention on the instructions page for the lab within Canvas, and that'll show you what kind of screenshots you need to get. All right, that's enough for this for now. On the next video, we will come back and we'll take a look at actually performing this lab. I'll see you then.